what Alexandra says, I'm not techie either, so I put some slides together to talk about some of the myths and misconceptions regarding social media. But first of all, we're going to go through a quick run through of the platforms, and I'd like to see a show of hands for each one. So, Facebook, who has a Facebook business page? Quite a few people. That's not surprising. That's because that's where most of the people actually are. It is a constantly evolving, very fast moving. We are seeing, as much as there are stories in the news that Facebook is reducing its numbers, that's not necessarily the case. It is still growing. Twitter, who uses Twitter? Still quite a few. Twitter has a stream. There is people follow a huge amount of people on these. You can post status updates, videos, and images, and it's a really good place to get news. And that's what a lot of people are using it for, is to capture information and news. LinkedIn profiles. LinkedIn company pages, fewer. For a long time, LinkedIn has been regarded as basically an online job hunting site, and that's not necessarily the case anymore. You'll see the interface is looking a lot more Facebook-like, but it's very appealing to people who feel comfortable with the fact it's a professional network. It is just about business. I'm seeing a few inspirational quotes coming up and a few sort of requests for happy birthdays. I personally find that a tad uncomfortable, and I like the fact it's purely professional, and I work with a lot of businesses that like the fact it's purely professional, and this is the reason why a lot of companies allow LinkedIn access at work. Instagram, who's using Instagram? Now it's going down. It's become increasingly interesting to me because you can now advertise on it. It's been bought by Facebook. It is a photo sharing site. One challenge for businesses, there are no direct calls to action and links back to the website, apart from in your bio. But there are some sort of tricks that people have been using to get around that. YouTube, video, if you're still. YouTube's very interesting. It is the second largest search engine after Google. However, with the introduction of video and live video to Facebook, Facebook are making an aggressive move to capture that audience. Pinterest. Anyone using it for work? Pinterest is an online pin board. It is, for my business, it's great. It helps drive traffic to my lingerie business. My marketing business, I don't use it. I have seen some very successful examples of people who do. It's a leisure-based activity for a lot of people, a leisure-based platform. But interestingly, when you have these pins, now they've introduced these things called buy buttons. So if you put one of your products on there, you can put a call to action on it, and it can take them directly towards a place where they can buy your products. Okay, so some of the misconceptions. Your customers aren't on social media. I still hear this. However, more than 70% of people who go online in the UK have a social media profile. And that's a 66% increase since 2003. It's growing, and it's still growing very quickly. 97% of those people have a Facebook profile, which is, unsurprisingly, as most of you stuck your hands up in here. And Twitter, 26%. LinkedIn, it sounds a little bit disappointing at 14%, but you have to take into account those people, if you are in professional services, are much more likely to be your target market. 81% of those with a social media profile, they visit every single day. And this is a lot to do with the fact that people have access it from their smartphone. Social media is very mobile these days. And Instagram is visited by 30% of the UK population. I'm singing this one. The next thing is that it's just for kids, it's just young people on there. Actually, it's one of the fastest growing ages are above the 35-year-old. 93% of 16-year-olds to 24-year-olds have a social profile. Trying to find a 16 to 24-year-old without a social media profile is going to be a bit of a challenge for you guys. 90% to 25 to 35, 80% 35 to 44, 50, 49 to 55, from 55 to 65. So that's 50% of 55 to 65-year-olds are on social media, and 28% of 56, 65 plus. Then we talk about Jersey. So maybe it's not just, maybe this is the UK, maybe this is England. When you're looking at the back end of the Facebook adverts, they show that you can potentially reach 57,000 people in the island of Jersey through Facebook advertising. This is a huge opportunity for businesses. Another one, it's free. I know Alexandra was saying it's free, but you did say you were advertising on it as well. The thing about social media is it takes you time. Time costs you money. It's time you are not spending doing something else, and it does take a lot of time to do it well. One interesting thing now, Facebook, I'm going to use Facebook a lot in these examples because the majority of you guys are on it. When you post up on Facebook, it does not show every single post you post to every single fan. They use an algorithm. So this small video I put up, despite the fact I have over 3,000 fans, was only shown to 181 people. Died. Wasn't great. And this is because, oh, it's morning and we're going to do an algorithm, everyone's excited. Of several factors. Facebook has a constantly evolving algorithm that dictates who sees what in their news feeds. If Facebook didn't have this algorithm, you could receive up to 15,000 updates in your newsfeed every single day. None of us can absorb them. Very few of us can actually absorb, I think, the baby photos and cat videos that we are already receiving. So there's 5 main aspects to who sees what, who sees your post. One, it's the interest of the user and the creator. If somebody has liked your page and they're interacting on it, they are more likely to see your next post. If you put a post out and it's doing well, Facebook will then show it to more people. If you have a history of producing quality posts, as a creator, you will get a larger reach for your next post. Also, the type of post will dictate how well it does. This is really interesting because it's not the same for every business. Links will perform better for some people. Facebook videos tend to do well. If you're using images, see how well they perform against a video of the images, for example, and then how new is the post. If you have a post that catches a lot of attention very quickly, it's going to be shown to more people. So this is a post I did, and I promoted it. So organic reach for this picture of a swimsuit was 241. I put £2 budget behind it, and that extended its reach to 1,567 people. Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. They have stockholders. They need to make money, and the way they make money is through advertising. So talking a little bit about the type of content. And this is a sponsored advert. Now, this has come in my newsfeed. I don't live in Guernsey. I have no interest in this. And I would say not many other people have any interest in this, because nobody has liked, commented, or shared this post. Because nobody's liked, commented, or shared it, it will not be spread further organically. So, next one is more fans equal more success. If you have lots of fans on your Facebook page, you're doing really well. Now, talking about the algorithm, you can have 5,000 fans on your Facebook page, but if no one is commenting, and sharing, your content will not be seen by 5,000 people. It could be seen by 50. So you need to make sure that when you're producing content, it's interesting and engaging to make sure you're getting that reach. And when it's easy, I think I just said, there is so much to learn in social media. I am learning new stuff every single day, which I get tragically excited about. and get really excited and tell someone, and they look at me like I should get out. It is not. It's very easy to put up a post. It's very easy to put some money behind it. But actually to succeed is a little more challenging. So this is another promotional post. This page had over 5,000 fans. One person liked it. People aren't seeing it. And when people are seeing it, they're not doing anything about it. They don't care. You're just trying to sell me some stuff. There are 3 things you can do to make your content engaging. One is educate your audience. This is a tweet from Sainsbury's. Now, instead of talking about the fact that they're selling flowers or selling like a meal deal, they are talking about giving you some information, educating you on how to make Mother's Day a little bit special by producing a video about making pancakes. Another one is inform. People are on social media and they're looking for answers to things. Now this page, Quirky Mama, they do a fantastic job of getting great organic reach. And they get a lot of questions. So they take the reader questions and they answer it in a forum. They get a huge amount of interaction for these things. Another one is entertain. When people are on social media, they are not at work. They are looking for some distraction. They're probably sitting in front of, I don't know, some TV, got their iPad or their phone on and having a little browse. If you can entertain them, they're going to share your content with people they know. So you can see this little post. It has nothing to do with smoothies, but it's amused people enough that over 1,000 people have liked it. It's had 119 comments and 222 shares. If you can combine any of those, you're doing really well. There's a marketing tip there and a funny picture. People like it, they're going to share it. Another misconception is it's really hard. There's a lot of fear behind starting. People can worry about the response they're going to get, how they're going to deal with any negativity, as Alexander was saying. But have a plan. It's boring. But decide on what your objective is. What are you trying to achieve? Are you raising awareness? Are you trying to get sales? Are you trying to build an email list? And then know your audience. If you know your audience, you're going to know what content they're going to find interesting. And put time in your diary. It can be a massive time suck. You can end up in a social media, Facebook cat watching video wormhole for hours if you're not careful. Pop it in the diary, put 15 minutes in, half an hour. I always recommend batch content production as well. You're better off putting 2 hours into producing some content, scheduling it for the week, and Bob's your uncle. Also use a content calendar. I've got a link there to a really handy free content calendar that you can use. If any of you guys want the slides, my email address is at the bottom. I'm happy to send slides, answering questions afterwards, because I know you guys have got to get back to work. Also, when you are producing content, you want to test and learn, see what works. So these are 2 links. This link did rather well, 733, all organic. This link, 68. Well, why? I don't know if Edwina Curry was just put people off looking at that. Take a look at what you're producing and see how it's being taken, what sort of response you're getting from it. Inspiring stuff works better for me than anything controversial. And the way you can find this is in the Insights page of your Facebook. When you go to your page at the top menu, it's Insight. There's a huge amount of information in here. Don't let it bamboozle or freak you out too much. The 2 key metrics you want to be looking at is how far your stuff is going and how much engagement it's getting. So that's the end of my little talk. I do social media training. There's some of my training dates if any of you guys are interested. Like I said before, if you do want to get in touch with me, my email address is there and I'll be hanging around for a bit afterwards if you want to ask any questions.
But coming down to the bay, the walk, being part of of the whole experience that Portland has to offer, as well as the food. And obviously there are posts of food that we do, but there are posts of just the goings on in the Bay. It's important, I've written here, to not make it all about you. I think it's very important to get I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not techie at all. And actually that's quite a good point, because I'm really, really not technical. And yet social media for us has been our only and main outlet for what we do. So anyone can do it, believe me. But it's not all about you, it's not all about us, and it's not always the hard sell. You want to try and get that balance between promotional and engaging posts. So an example for us that worked really well for promotional lately was Mother's Day. We've been closed for 2 months. So not only had we been closed and people are sort of forgetting about you, that you need to, and you're trying to launch an opening, Mother's Day was perfect to open it, but the whole campaign was through social media. So, and we were completely full from breakfast, lunch, and another lunch sitting later. And that was absolutely purely Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. There was no other means of advertising at all. So that just shows how powerful it is, especially after you've been closed for 2 months and you're down a lot of steps. And then engaging posts, recipes, interesting facts about Jersey. Give your audience something to enjoy, and they're not always feeling hounded to come and have to buy. It's about giving them the experience as well. Facebook, just a quick how we use it. Facebook we use for uploading our menus, our hours, when I remember, our location, update sticks in the diary. You can do competitions and deals and promotions. A really good way actually is spare bookings and cancellations. In the past, if someone cancels a table of 20 on that day or the day before, how would you get people to know about that? Now you can go straight on Facebook with availability, and you've reached thousands of people, and you're pretty bound to get rid of that table again. So it's a really powerful tool. Use it for recruiting staff. Instagram is much more photograph based. And again, your customers, it's all free, and they're doing all the work for you. They're in there posting it all around. Regram their photos. If you see one, regram it for them. They like that. It makes them feel known. It makes them feel like you're watching and you're listening to them. And Twitter for us is a much more quick, short, slightly more business type way. Little videos we put on Twitter. It's 15 seconds. It doesn't take up anybody's time. Really powerful visual shots. And everybody has a camera at the ready these days. We're all there waiting to do it. We're all photographers. And social media for staff. I've just written one last thing. It does take up a lot of time. At the moment, I'm doing most of it, but I think your staff can do it for you. Certainly, with posting simple things like photographs. Just make sure that any negative posts or anything like that comes back to you, you can respond to at a higher level, and have a staff policy in place so that they know exactly where they're at with it. And that's about it. But I think for us, really just the fact that we're down on the bay, no one can see us. We haven't put any funds into any form of advertising apart from using social media, and we're busy. So I hope that's it.
Thank you. We started, I guess, about 2 years ago, really. We had a website which we updated. We weren't really doing very much on social media at all. We had a bit of a presence, but we weren't really using it. So we only really started, most of our marketing was around the Awards for Enterprise at that time, which some of you may know about. So we weren't really doing anything about our own business. And we decided in the summer of 2014 that we would actually have more of a proactive approach to marketing rather than being reactive. So we started thinking that we would use social media a bit more. So this was a bit of a scary time for us. We hadn't used it. We were really quite nervous. We were quite a new company. We didn't really know what we should be saying on social media, who we would be talking to. We were quite cautious about what sort of things we would put onto the different platforms, what sort of messaging we would put out there, and particularly how we would respond to people who actually wanted to respond to us, which sounds really silly because anybody who's on social media knows that it is all about interacting. But actually when you're a business and you're beginning on this journey, it's really quite nerve-wracking to think, how actually am I going to respond to people who are putting comments on whatever, or coming back to you and making comments. So that was quite a difficult time for us, but we just started doing it little bit by little bit. One of the things that really helped us was that in September of 2014 we decided that we would do more of a promotional campaign. So to raise our profile as an organisation and to try and we created an integrated marketing campaign. So we worked across all the different platforms. We had social media, we also used our website, we did traditional marketing as well.